it's a journey home. So what if mine is on the lonely road? What if my companion is the radio saying I had one? Not that I picked a bad one, she just got out on the road. That's the sound of my one and only, in the distance now. That's the sound of my one and only, how she used to sound. Can I hear it again? Can I hear it again? Can I hear it again? Let me hear it again. Very old and free is this voice I heard, echoed in the breeze and the buffalo herds. All that I learned from the beasts and these birds is it's home to me.
Paul Wright.
How's it going, Jamie?
The flesh. Look at you. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great, of course, for my audience of the wonderful electronic folk duo Tall Heights. I hear you're playing for some kids after this event. What is this unique show about?
We are, yeah. Someone reached out about a after-school community music program here in Oakland. And man, I wish we could do this kind of thing all the time. So when someone reaches out about it, we really try to make it happen. So we're just gonna zip over there before sound check and play a few songs, talk to the kids, and yeah, I'm excited.
I gotta tell you, Paul, that is something that I love about you and Tim. You know, you guys have played every iconic theater in North America, many of them this year, but you never stop doing stuff like this. Or you love to do house shows, for example. What is it about them, like house shows or like intimate shows that this point in your career you could perfectly say, you know what, Tim, like let's just kind of graduate. We don't need to do that anymore, but you still carve the time to do those like special intimate gatherings.
Yeah, well, I think it's great for both. Hang on one sec. Well, I see. You got me?
Yeah, gotcha.
It's great for us and it's great for fans. For us, it's a great reminder that big stages and beautiful theaters and lights and great sound can do a lot to elevate a show, but fans also respond to something that's real and with them face to face and close up and personal. And it reminds us that what we do has power even in a backyard setting or not, in the box theater like we are tonight. So yeah, it's not hard to do those backyard shows. I'm really looking forward to them, even after what we're doing right now. That's so vastly different.
I guess I'm wondering Americana Fest we hope to catch here in Nashville. But Paul, let me ask you about, I mean, look, we all love you guys. I mean, Juniors is an album that just gets better with every listen. And like a song like Hear It Again, man, that new single you did with Oshima Brothers, the main bass duo, that one is fantastic. But what I love about them is that not only could they be in any cool nightclub or lounge, Paul, but I feel like the songwriting is really intense. It's like an incredible mixture that you guys did. There's themes of grief, of loss, but like you could perfectly dance to it in Ibiza, When the songs are bangers like this, Paul, do you guys first come with the production, or do you first come with like the intense like songwriting? Because it's a trite question, but it really applies to you guys.
Yeah, I lost for a second, but I think I got the gist. Yeah, it happens both ways, but I think most often starts with a guitar and a voice, or a cello and a voice, and it's about the song first and foremost. And certainly with some of the songs you mentioned, Junior's era and previous records, Pretty Colors for Your Actions in particular. We were really excited about sort of bringing those intimate songs to whatever you want to call it, poppy or more electro production landscape.
Yeah.
And a song like Back to Autumn, for example, is about something really personal, losing my grandfather, and who is sort of a towering musical and, emotional figure in my life. And yet, you listen to the production, if you're not a lyrics oriented person, it might just sort of like be the soundtrack to your fall day as you're, sipping a cold one or a latte. And I I don't mind that on one level. It's okay that that message that's so personal to me can fly under the radar. But it's also really great to be direct and drive your songwriting message home, and production choices have a lot to do with that. And so the record we're making now that we're just finishing up, um, is much more in an organic landscape, and I think the songwriting and the lyrics are really highlighted by those production choices.
Yeah, I mean, I love the bold choices that you guys do creatively. And let me go back to the beginning a little bit, Paul. I mean, you've told this story a million times, but for my audience, tell me when you were growing up in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, and you're hanging out with Tim's older brother, and then you kind of like meet Tim, and you start kind of like vibing musically. How was that like? Like what an interesting kind of like relationship start there.
Yeah. So Tim's older brother was my best bud. Yeah, and Tim was just kind of the little squirt hanging around, and it wasn't until high school and years after that we started singing together a little bit, but we had pretty different musical influences at the time. And what really drew us to each other was just that we were each writing original music, and we didn't really have anybody else around us who was doing that. And we found sort of a bridge between what I was into and what he was into. And initially that was really sort of like the cello was the initial link between us. And then we started writing songs together, and we sort of, honed something that was exciting to both of us. But it was really sort of acting as each other's producer, or songwriting, editor, that got us excited. We didn't have anyone else in our life who could fit that role, and we were really inspired by the things the other person was offering on our songs.
Yeah. And during research a couple of days ago, Paul, me and my producer were listening to Spirit Cold, and we were thinking about that song, like when it exploded. I mean, it premiered on the Wall Street Journal. It was kind of everywhere. It was only like 7 years ago or something. Well, it was 7 years ago. But I guess the question, Paul, is why do you think that song had such resonance with people? And I think my theory is it's got that message that that the world is bleak and there's negativity everywhere, but there's light if you look at it carefully. Do you think
Yeah,
that song just endures with everybody because it's a banger and it's like your most popular song still?
I think you're on something there. Yeah, to me, it's so clear, from the first couple seconds how you're meant to feel, and what the broader message is, even if you're not someone who listens to lyrics, or if you only catch that first lyric of "How do I wake my spirit cold?" It's all right there up front. Um, and I think, that's a kind of like accessibility that, um, you can't really replicate it. It happens, and it's a bit of magic, and it's just an amazing thing to see so many people engage with it and make it their own.
I know you got a lot going on, Paul, and you gotta go to the kids. So let me just steal a couple more minutes of you.
Okay.
When you're opening for these great acts, like I mean, you're opening for Beth Folds, you're opening for Larkin Poe, fantastic. They're absolutely setting the world on fire. Lone Bellow, friends here from Nashville, a couple of them. You know, is that as an artist, that's gonna be like super cool, right? That you can just kind of like get out of your green room, catch a couple songs, and like kind of like be inspired. Like that's gotta be like one of the coolest things about joining with friends, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, getting to watch others do their thing and take notes and learn. Absolutely. With Fold, it's a different beast because we're opening and then we're playing with him. So we're watching him do his thing from stage and trying to keep up. But yeah, so much love for those Lone Bellow folks, and yeah, Larkin Pope, super talented. And yeah, I was saying to someone the other day, there aren't a lot of direct opportunities to be mentored in the music biz. You get the opportunities you get, and you try to make the most of them. And we feel so lucky to have someone like Folds to learn from, because he's got so much to teach us.
I love it, Paul. Let me leave you with this. I mean, your music takes a lot of risks, and I love that. And I think that, a lot of artists that are like in the same trajectory as you guys, they kind of like, there's a place where they find some success and they kind of like hold it like conservatively. So like, this kind of works. You guys don't have two records the same. Where does that come from, Paul? Like, where does that risk taking creatively come from? Like, did it come from your influences? Like, what is it about you and Tim that you're just like, you know what, this worked 4 years ago. Let's completely go in this direction this time. Like, that is so cool and awesome. Like, where did that come from?
Thanks. Yeah, I know Tim would say it never even occurred to him to make a follow-up record that sounded like the last one. And I think we both grew up listening to music, to artists that took those kinds of risks and brought you somewhere else with the next record. And maybe that doesn't make for the easiest first listen, because you're
just
it's surprised.
Sure.
Yeah, but ultimately, I think part of the onus of being an artist and a creator is to keep pushing, and we've always found the most inspiration and the most sort of I don't even say success, but engagement with folks by pushing ourselves to try something new. And thanks for noticing that. And we just want to keep doing that, just keep forging new territories the way that we stay excited.
Love it. Well, I love what you guys are doing, man. Thank you for your time. Go kick some ass at the Fox Theater, and we look forward to catching you later this year, Paul. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Jamie. All right, sounds good. Take care.